sunshine. Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like...
Welcome, everyone, to episode number 3 of the Carolina Sports Report presented by Wrenn Sports Graphics. Go see Wrenn on 10 East 11th Street in Roanoke Rapids, or give them a call at 252-673-5491. We are joined today by Barton signee Macy Beaver. Macy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So first off, just tell us how you got started playing golf and how your game has evolved just over the years.
I started playing golf when I was about 5 because my dad, he's played golf his entire life. So Chalk Yacht was basically my second home. I didn't start taking it really seriously until I was about 11 or 12. That's when I started playing in tournaments in all around North Carolina. So,
at what point did you realize playing those tournaments and all that you could take your game to the next level and play after high school?
I think I noticed when I really started competing with these girls, I was, placing top 20 my freshman year at States and top 10 my sophomore year. And then it just kept progressing from there. And that's really when I knew I had to take my game and play in college.
All right, Macy, talking about your junior golf career, you have a top 5 and a top 10 on the PKB, and then you have a tie for 12th on the CGA. Obviously, some success there. Just talk about what it's like to experience those courses like Liney Pool, being able to experience Pinehurst and things like that, how it's helped your golf game.
Getting to play places like that is an honor. The Liney Pool tournament, that's one of my favorites during the summer. It'll kick your butt. That golf course is hard, but it's good to be around that environment of college golf. And when I was 13 and 14 playing in that tournament for the first time, we see all the people that are on the actual golf team at NC State hitting range balls and stuff like that. So, that's always really cool for us.
Yeah, your best finish at regionals was second. Just talk about what it's like to represent Roanoke Rapids and to go to states, and just, again, what was that experience like? How did it help you, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, it's always fun getting to go to those tournaments and, getting to represent Roanoke Rapids because, we don't have very many, girl golfers come out of this area that go to regionals and states. So it's always cool to go down there and show up for the school. So
we thought about you committed to Barton College, and that's where you'll be playing golf. What made you decide to call Barton home? What did you see during the recruiting process that made you want to make it your decision to play there for the next 4 years?
I love the campus. I went down there probably 3 or 4 times without my parents, and then my parents came down there and we got to see, where all the teams work out at. And I really just fell in love with the place. I like the smaller campus environment, and obviously the coach down there, he's awesome. I love the way that he plans to run practices. He's very with, competition, steady competition to keep everybody on their toes. And that's what I love about that place.
Well, Macy, we thank you for being our guest this week on the Carolina Sports Report, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, Macy.
Good
luck.
Thank you.
It's time to go through our sponsors for the Carolina Sports Report. First, we have Wrenn Sports Graphics with Wrenn. Go see him on 10 East 11th Street in Roanoke Rapids, or give him a call at 252-673-5491.
If you're buying or selling a home, make sure to call Michelle Garris with Wilkie Real Estate. Our number is 252-326-0074. Again, that is Michelle Garris with Wilkie Real Estate at 252-326-0074.
Bridge, our first topic today, which is obviously a big topic in the state of North Carolina with basketball, is the big Duke-UNC game. Both of these teams have struggled so far this year, to say the least. Came into the season with high expectations for both of these teams, and they've fallen below those for sure. This is the first meeting in a very long time that neither team will be ranked. But we talked about Duke last week. They won Saturday versus Clemson and lost on the road Monday night to a struggling Miami team. And it's just a loss, Ridge, that kind of takes Duke's tournament hopes to a lower percentage.
Yeah, and we talked about that. But, UNC, obviously you have a tough loss against Clemson the other night as well. When you're on a streak and you think you're trying to get on that winning streak, trying to get something going again, and then you get your feet cut from underneath you. It's going to be a really important game for both teams. Obviously, we're getting down to nitty gritty now. They need to start stringing some wins together. And it starts here. They're at Duke. It's going to be a fun game to watch. It really doesn't matter the win-loss record when it comes to Carolina Duke. It's going to be a great game, even without any fans in the stand. There's going to be a lot of energy in that building.
About Carolina struggling on Tuesday night versus Clemson, and like you said, they're playing Duke Saturday. We never know with that game. Nobody really knows what team's going to show up with no fans there. There's no team that has that clear-cut home court advantage. But for Carolina, I feel like one of the things they have to do to win is limited careless turnovers. They had 17 versus Clemson on Tuesday night, and we saw that earlier in the year against teams like Iowa. The good teams that they play, you can't turn the ball over 17 times.
No, not at all. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. I don't care who you play. It could be the worst team in college basketball. You turn the ball over 17 times, you're going to struggle to win. And obviously, that was a big point for them. But going to what you're about to say again.
So a couple of gold nuggets, whatever I found online, is they are 2-0 with single-digit turnovers and 7-2 with less than 15. Now you can say less than 15 is still a big number, but I mean the way our game is today and the amount of experience they had coming into this year with, like we talked about, the no summers and all like that. But I mean, 15 turnovers in a college basketball game, the way the defensive pressure is now. I think you get less than 15 turnovers, you should win every game.
Yeah, and two, I mean, going into 15 turnovers, I think the game has definitely it's a lot more fast-paced now. The ball's moving a whole lot more from longer distances. You're running the floor. A lot of things are happening a whole lot faster than they did back in the days. 15 turnovers, obviously, is not good, but you expect turnovers to happen now. Just like now in college football, they throw the ball around so much. I mean, the ball's going to get intercepted. Obviously, the chances of you turning the ball over when you're at a faster pace and you have so many bodies moving around, it happens. But if you can keep it under 15 turnovers, that's good. But still, you want to try to keep it to 5 at the most. And they're struggling with turnovers, something they're going to have to fix soon. Because, like I said, it's starting to get down to you got to win, and you got to win now. And it's looking like both Duke and Carolina, if they don't have good ACC tournaments, and potentially they're both probably going to have to win it, it's not looking good for the Big Dance.
And you talk about, you get down to the nitty gritty, with the way the schedules work this year with postponed games and canceled games, the window for making up these games are getting tighter and tighter because every week you look and, Boston College is on pause. This week, so-and-so might else be on pause. So, and that might be the team you're supposed to play. So it's getting closer and closer to that window. And like you said, both these teams might just have to win the ACC tournament. But another Carolina key I feel like is this team goes as Armando Bacot goes. They're 9-3 when he scores in double figures. And Tuesday night, he only had 7 points. But the offensive rebound for Carolina is going to be huge too, because we see Duke doesn't have the size that Carolina has and doesn't have the big man depth either. I mean, you got Matthew Hurt and Jalen Johnson, who are their best players, but also seeing key players coming off the bench for them, like Mark Williams, who hasn't played a lot this year, but it's just been somebody that they can throw in there with some length and some size that's going to cause some problems for this Carolina team.
Yeah, and going back to Bacot, that's why I was so surprised with Carolina struggles. They have a lot more experience. Bacot, like I've said in the past couple of episodes, is only a sophomore, but he plays like a senior. That ball goes through him. That offense goes through him. Obviously, he's looking at a leader. He's looking as a leader of that basketball team. And so if he's not playing well, obviously they're not going to play well. But two, I think if he can go into Durham and have a good game against the Blue Devils, I don't see any reason why Carolina probably doesn't win. I think right now Carolina's the best team. But then going back to Carolina and Duke, you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun game to watch. But Bacot, if he has a big game, I think the Tar Heels will win it. But two, I mean, the struggles are there, so you really don't know. It's hard to tell what Duke or Carolina's going to do because Carolina goes on a win streak, and then Duke looks like they're starting to peak, and then they both get their legs cut underneath them from pretty bad losses. So it's tough to tell with these teams. Every time I think they're finally hitting their stride, they kind of take one step forward and 3 steps back. So
it will be interesting Saturday night at 6 p.m. on ESPN. This game has always lived up to its expectations, and we'll just hopefully see another good chapter put in the storybook this weekend. But up to our next topic, Ridge, we saw a big announcement this week that makes me and you very happy. EA Sports bringing back the college football video game. How excited are you that it will be returning to different consoles?
I'm extremely excited. I've kept my white Xbox 360 all these years. It's probably running on its last leg right now, just so I can continue to play the NCAA 14, the last one that came out. And it's just a fun, man. The game is so in depth of what you can do, working away from an offense or defense coordinator into a head coach, and then being able to recruit and things like that, which I'm fun. You're starting to notice now the more I play and the way that it seems like in the past 5 years, a lot of teams in college football have trying to kind of change their brands. You see logo tweaks and the uniforms are constantly changing. So it's starting to get a little outdated, and I'm excited for it to get on the next gen consoles, to be able to see what the graphics and stuff are like. I'm really excited to bring East Carolina a national championship too, like I always do.
It's a fun game, and it kind of makes you. I mean, you feel like you're a coach, like you said, being an offense coordinator and moving your way up. It's just a game where you just kind of just be yourself almost, like you said, you kept your old Xbox so you could play it. I believe it was 2014 was the last year.
Correct. Yeah, I still play.
Yeah.
It's got Denard Robertson
Yep.
from Michigan on the front of it.
So we're both pumped to have that back. Hopefully we'll have college basketball coming back soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I will say, though, and it's no knock to EA, but I hope if the licensing comes back for college basketball, I really hope 2K gets it because they make great NBA games. So it would be really fun to be able to, some of the storylines they have in their career modes and stuff, to put that in the college world would be awesome.
Looking forward to that. So let's jump into our next topic, which is another big game this weekend is the Super Bowl, which will be played on Sunday at 6 p.m. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some storylines heading into this game. Two of our most famous names in football, and not just quarterbacks, but Tom Brady playing in his 10th Super Bowl, looking for ring number 7, and Patrick Mahomes playing in his second consecutive Super Bowl, looking for his second ring after last year's win versus the 49ers. But let's talk about Brady. Brady's been around for a while, 10 Super Bowls, and like I said, looking for win number 7 in the Super Bowl. That's just some unbelievable numbers.
Yeah, Tom Brady, I saw, it was a graphic from ESPN or somewhere like that, which showed like his career throughout 5 different years or something like that. And his stats were better than Roger Staubach and Dan Marino. It looked like he had 3 Hall of Fame careers wrapped into one. Tom Brady is a winner. He finds a way to win every single year. Every time you think, well, he's an old man, he's not going to be able to do it. He goes to Tampa Bay, who's been struggling since Josh Freeman was the quarterback and they made the playoffs. So I wouldn't write them out, but Kansas City is they don't have the best defense in the world, but when you're scoring as many points as they do, it's hard to outscore them. So I think this will probably be a passing of the torch game if the Chiefs can get it done. Which what a nice historical feature would be. The last team to go back-to-back was the Patriots. So if Patrick Mahomes could go back-to-back against Tom Brady, the last one to do it, would be pretty special. And then obviously I'm a huge Andy Reid fan, and he waited so long to get his first one. If he can get him back-to-back and put his name in the history books like that, it would be great.
Get another cheeseburger as well.
Yeah.
But you talk about the high-power offense that the Chiefs have with weapons like Tyreek Hill and Le'Veon Bell. I didn't realize, which I should have known this, but this will be Le'Veon's first ever Super Bowl appearance. I feel like he's been around for so long, but then again, he's only played for 2 teams, and that's the Jets and the Steelers.
Yeah, I think he got to Pittsburgh at the tail end of their last Super Bowl run. So, which, he's not even the feature back on that team, but still having a weapon like that to add that depth. Le'Veon Bell is still a special athlete, and hopefully he can get his number called a couple times in the game and have some of his Super Bowl moments fulfilled. But too, yeah, they're very deep. They have a great cast around Patrick Mahomes, full of Pro Bowlers, full of top performers in the league. So they're really fun to watch. I just know they're going to struggle if Tom Brady can get something going his offense as well, which I think is probably going to be a really special game. I hope we can see at least 35 points on both sides of the field. It's tough to say, but I don't think that's really far-fetched with the 2 teams that are going up against each other.
And like you said, I think it's going to be a shootout till the very end. I hope to see a high-scoring game. But a key receiver for the Chiefs that might be out for this game, I saw it going across the bottom line of ESPN, is Sammy Watkins might not play in the Super Bowl due to injury. But, when you got Tyreek Hill, who's the fastest man in the NFL, and you got Kelsey at tight end, kind of one man down, you got two other ones that can easily just take control of the game as well.
Yeah, too. It just goes back to all the weapons they're going to be able to field from top to bottom. And it's not a lot of defensive ones out there, but McCole Harmon's had a great year too. He got down in the playoff game and came back and made a really big play to boost them. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I'm really, really excited about this game. I think it's going to be the best Super Bowl we've seen in a really long time.
And like you said, being this might be a passing of the torch type game with Mahomes, could easily insert himself to being one of the greats, and he hasn't even been in the league 5 years.
He's accomplished so much in his short time. It's kind of like, where's he going to go from here? But too, if he keeps on adding on Super Bowls, it's a special thing.
I mean, he's already got he got one last year. Could be looking at another one this year. That's 2 in 5 years. So, I mean, he could easily pass Brady at some point. He's young. Yeah. He came into the league at an early age, and he's just surprised everyone at just the things he can do. He can obviously run the ball, which he can just pull any trick out. He's got sideways arm throw, and he's just fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a lot quicker than I think he is fast. He's not going to burn you completely downfield on a long run. But he's a lot like Russell Wilson. It's hard to tackle him when he's in the pocket. He's able to escape. He's able to make those awesome throws that he does, not looking and sidearm and stuff like that. So, yeah, really special talent. We're very fortunate that we're alive right now to get to watch somebody like him. It's definitely somebody we're going to be telling our kids about.
We're going to go through our sponsors again for our Carolina Sports Reports. We have Randy Wrenn with Wrenn Sports Graphics. Go see him at 10 East 11th Street or give him a call at 252-673-5491.
Again, Michelle Garrett's with Wiki Real Estate. If you're buying or selling a home, make sure to call her at 252-326-0074. Again, that's Michelle Garrett's at 252-326-0074.
We're going to jump into another topic that will be starting up soon is college baseball, which is always fun for the state of North Carolina with a lot of success with teams like State, Carolina. Duke has been bumped back up lately, but ECU has always been picked to finish high in their respective league. And as we see this year, they're picked to finish first in the American. Cliff Godwin's got that Pirate team looking to be successful again this year.
Yeah, and a tough conference the American is too. So it's a huge deal for the Pirates to be named the first place team in the preseason. And Cliff Godwin is awesome. He's a Pirate through and through. He played here, played catcher, and then if you look at his resume, just the programs he's been around as an assistant, it's no surprise today when he came back to Greenville and finally got his name called that he would be successful as he is. He's constantly getting the top recruits in the state of North Carolina and branching out some in the other states. So it's no surprise. I'm disappointed that I can't go up the street. I live 30 seconds from the baseball field to be able to watch them, but I'll definitely be watching them online and things like that. It's really cool, man, to get an honor. We've struggled in some other sports, but baseball has definitely carried the torch here at East Carolina. So it's really cool to see one of our teams get national recognition. And, I don't think this is the year I think this is the year you might say we might go to Omaha. We say that every single year, but it's fun to have a team that every single year we start the season, we definitely have a chance to go to Omaha. And 5 years ago, we were 90 feet from it. So we've got a taste. We just got to break through that wall and get there.
Some other teams in the state that getting some recognition is Duke and NC State are ranked in the preseason top 25 for the Baseball America poll. And ECU was ranked 25th in the D1 Baseball.com preseason poll. Wake Forest getting some recognition as well. But two teams that were left out that are usually in the top 25 preseason is Carolina and UNCW, which Carolina had Mike Fox resigned last year. That he had a large amount of success as at the helm for Carolina. But UNCW is also talked about ECU carrying the torch for sports being that successful, but UNCW baseball has also been that way here in Wilmington for a couple of years now with Coach Randy Hood taking over from Mark Scaff. We've also seen a couple of Jackets over the past decade or so make it to the Diamond here in Wilmington with names like Tyler DeLoach and Clay Lockman. But one name from ECU that that I missed to talk about was Buns, Spencer Brickhouse, and he was just fun guy to watch play baseball. And I'm sure you were lucky enough to see him in person in Greenville.
Yeah, Spencer's a great talent. I was at one of the games and called one of his home runs. So that's one of the moments I like to brag about. But going back to Carolina and UNCW not being in the top 25, it's probably not saying much. I wouldn't be surprised if we're not a month and a half, 2 months into the season that they don't get their name up there in the top 25. So we're really blessed here, man, with baseball that almost every single major university we have in this state is a really good baseball team. And we have the opportunity to play each other. And it's really fun to watch them. I love watching, in state and Carolina and Duke. And when UNCW comes here to Greenville, I love watching them, catching them. We don't play Wake Forest as much, but still a great baseball program. And we're really blessed here in the state of North Carolina. We have so many baseball teams that are so great.
And those games, talk about the in-state schools with ECU, UNCW, those games are always decided, I feel like, late in the game, like seventh inning or later. It's always a great pitching matchup, and it's always two high-powered offenses.
Yeah, it's always a rubber match. Whenever we play, it seems like it's either a rubber match where it's 1-0 or 1-1 going into the bottom of the ninth, or it seems like every single time a pitch is thrown, it's going out of the park. So it just goes back to the talent we have here in the state of North Carolina with baseball. We talk about it being a basketball state, and we have a lot of great baseball players that came through this state, and it shows because all those schools are able to recruit the state of North Carolina, keep that talent in state, and that's why they have so much success.
And we talked about Brickhouse and Bun, but the Runner Rapids' conference back a couple years ago, and South Granville had a loaded team with Justin Bullock, who was picked up by the Brewers, Holden Laws. I'm not sure where he's at now, but that was just another name that was always me and you got to call a couple of those games, but they were just always fun matchups to watch because Runner Rapids was always talented, and it was just those three that kind of ran that league for a while.
Yeah, a lot of talent with Runner Rapids. You go back to Colby Warren; he's at Barton playing baseball. But going back to those two guys, they obviously opted out of the college route and went straight to the majors. So, or not the majors, but they went and signed minor league contracts. So, yeah, it's awesome. Being on OC, we've been really fortunate at the time that we've covered, whether it be basketball, baseball, or football together. We've seen a lot of talent on the field. So, but yeah, it goes back to the North Carolina Conference being such a strong conference in athletics as well.
High school baseball will be starting up soon. It's officially the month of February, so high school football will be starting up in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get the Runner Rapids to that first game. But let's Ridge, we're going to jump into another topic, and this one we haven't really talked about at all, but the Carolina Hurricanes have gotten off to a fast start this year. Could say a slow start because they played for a week and then got shut down because of COVID. But ever since that COVID pause, Rod Brindamore has got that team on a 5-game winning streak. And we saw last night the shootout win versus Chicago, which is a huge testament to what Rod Brindamore has had that team fighting ever since he took over and just changed that organization in the rebuilding process. Yeah,
you go back to a couple of years where when we were younger, obviously having the Stanley Cup coming to Raleigh, that's awesome. And what the Hurricanes have meant to the state of North Carolina since they have arrived. You put a hockey team in any state in the South, it's probably going to take a little bit to get some local support because it's just not that big of a game here. But yeah, the Hurricanes have done great. Obviously, had some success last year. They've got some great branding when it goes to the bunch of jerks and stuff like that. So they're a really fun team to watch. And it's sad when David Glenn retired off the radio. I used to love listening to him talk about the Hurricanes and stuff like that. But I think they're such an important part of North Carolina culture now. They're a staple, and it's always great when they're having success there in Raleigh.
David Glenn is actually teaching a course here at UNCW, like a sports reporting class. So I might have to jump on that.
Yeah, you might have to take that elective. Yeah, David Glenn is the man. I was very disappointed when he retired, but he did so much for the state of North Carolina when it comes to sports media. He was always fair to people, always had great call-ins to his show and stuff. David Glenn is the man. And we talked about the rebuilding, but the years that they kind of had down years, they got the right draft picks with names like Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov. We've got two good goalies. Mrazek's down right now, so Reimer's going to have to continue to step up. But this Hurricanes team, man, I know it's a long season. We don't know what's going to happen, but they've put some runs together and get that experience up. This team could easily be hoisting another Stanley Cup this year. Yeah, and it goes back. Every franchise is going to have a down year when it comes to anything. I mean, looking at the New York Knicks, I think they've been down for 20 years. But obviously, the Hurricanes have done the right thing. They've drafted well. They've signed people when they needed to. They've extended people. They've gotten the right staff in there, and it's starting to pay dividends now. They're finally starting to turn that corner. You go back, obviously, Stanley Cup, and it's special, but now you're watching a team build. And I think we're at the age now that we really didn't get to experience the Stanley Cup run in its fullness. So now we're at a point where we can really see a team starting to build and cheer for them into the playoffs and hope we can bring another professional championship into the state of North Carolina.
I hope you're right. And it would be fun to be in Raleigh when that night comes. Hopefully.
That would be an experience that that would be awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to jump into our picks for this week. Both of us, unfortunately, not too bad of a week, but 2-2. That takes my overall record to 6-2 and you to 5-3. So you kind of caught up a little bit last week.
I'm a game behind, so I just I'm going to have to get a winning record here soon while you got a losing record in the week.
That's right. I'm going to have to lose a couple. So you got some games for us to pick.
I got some games, man. Obviously, the marquee game we only got 3 this week, but the big one we're looking at, UNC is going to take the short bus trip over to Durham. Who you got?
You don't even have to ask. Carolina all the way. I still think that they are one of the top 4 best teams in the league. I think it's just going to – I don't know how I still see that. But, I think this is going to be a big step in our season to prove that we can still beat a good team. We beat some good teams so far in the ACC, but I just think this game could help our confidence level a whole lot heading into postseason play.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tar Heels too. I think they're the better team. But till we go back, it's going to be a great game. I think the Tar Heels are going to win, but I'm not going to be surprised if the Blue Devils do win. It's zero. Records are 0 wins, 0 losses when it comes to Duke, Carolina. I don't care. So, but I'll agree with you. I'm gonna go to Heels in Durham, and then we've got the Wolfpack of NC State. They're going to travel up to Massachusetts and play Boston College. Who you got?
State. Boston College only has 4 scholarship players available right now because of COVID. Their game was postponed against Florida State this week because of that. So we're going to go with the Wolfpack there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wolfpack as well. Obviously, you got a little travel to get around. But, yeah, I think NC State's the better team. I think they'll probably win that one pretty handily. I think that'll give them some confidence going into the later part of the season and going into the ACC tournament here soon.
The State just lost Devin Daniels.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to really have a factor in this game.
And Funderburk, I don't know the availability of him. Obviously, that's going to be a big thing.
I wasn't sure about that when we watched that game Sunday. That kind of popped up last minute, so I'm not sure what that was all about. But
yeah, I have not heard any news one way or another. Yeah, the Wolfpack definitely need them. And then 2, we will the Pirates will travel to Memphis, Tennessee to take on Penny Hardaway and his Tigers. Who you got?
I got Memphis. Hopefully, it's closer than the game that was in Greenville, which the Pirates didn't have Joe Dooley. And ECU last week versus UCF, I thought they were going to pull that one out. And I'm not sure what Roccaforte had, what that locker room speech at halftime was about, but different team that came out, unfortunately, on the bad side of that loss. But I'm going to take the Tigers.
Yeah, I think ECU has had so many struggles with COVID this year. I think they started off the season really hot and everything was clicking, everything was going. Then they have had some COVID issues. Obviously, when you get your head coach taken away from you for a game, it's hard to win. You saw that with Duke, with John Shire. I mean, you talk about how great he's been on that staff, but they struggled. They ended up getting the win. But 2, I think I'm going to go Memphis. I think the pieces are starting to come together for ECU, but I still think the Tigers are a better team, and I'm going to go with the Tigers over the Pirates.
So that's going to up for episode number 3 of the Carolina Sports Report. We'd like to thank Macy Beaver for joining us again. Best of luck to her. But Rich, another episode down. Hopefully, we'll go 3-0 this week in our picks.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, hopefully I go 3-0 and you at least go 2-1. Well, actually, that's not going to happen because we picked all the same teams. Never mind. Hopefully we do go 3-0.
All right. we'll do the Super Bowl. I'll take.
Okay.
All right, who do you? Oh, I'll let you have first pick.
Super Bowl.
I'll
Okay,
take
that's fine. I'm gonna
I'll
go.
take Washington.
So you're just gonna give me one. You're gonna give me an opportunity to get back in it. I'll
Yep.
go Kansas City. I think I'm gonna go
All right.
Kansas City.
I'm gonna go with the GOAT and Tom Brady.
I got you.
I'm gonna go. All right.
So hopefully,
the
the deciding factor is the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I like it. That's a great idea.
Well,
But
for Ridge Simmons and Spencer Hargrove, and thanks to Randy Wrenn as well for being our title sponsor. Ridge, see you next week.
And Michelle Garris too with Wilkie Real Estate. Call her if you're buying or selling a home. 252-326-0074.